Hello and welcome back to the Work Love Balance series. I'm so glad you're tuning in again. I'm Austin.
And I'm Denise, and the question that we get asked all the time is how are we creating multiple streams of income?
Let's talk about it. All right, so the question we get all the time is how are we creating multiple streams of income for ourselves and having a balanced life where we spend time with family and get to have fun and all that stuff? How are we making our wealth happen? Anytime someone wants to have the wealth conversation with me and they want to talk about passive income, usually it ends up coming out that they're saying, hey, how can I make money without having to work? Let me let you in on a secret. It doesn't work that way, right? You absolutely have to work to set up your passive income. Regardless of what the lifestyle is that you think you see people having, they usually, somebody did some work, whether it was them or their parents or their grandparents, somebody did some grueling work to set up that lifestyle so that they could have that passive income.
Right.
So my first question to them is always, how much are you willing to sacrifice for your accomplishments? How much comfort are you willing to give up in order to reach your goal? Because if that conversation can be had, well, then we can talk about how you can get your wealth.
Right.
The first topic that I want to talk about or touch on, about passive income at least, is real estate.
Yeah.
Everybody says, I want to get into real estate.
Yeah.
I think it's a good, how's the market, right? Is it good job? Is it a good idea to get into real estate?
Right. Should I get in now?
Right. Should I get in now? The quote is this: you shouldn't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait. And what does that mean? That means you buy an apartment building, you let it appreciate, you put tenants in it and they pay you every month, you pay the expenses, and the difference between the expenses and the revenue, so that revenue minus expenses is going to be your profit. That's your cash flow. That's that monthly income that you're going to have. So there are a couple of different topics in real estate about how you can make money. The first I would say is make sure you understand what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the first investment in real estate that you should make is in your education.
Yes.
Because if you don't know anything, I have seen people with $100,000 in the bank let that $100,000 turn into $0 in less than 12 months. So when I say invest in your education, I literally mean it is necessary because money leaves the person who's foolish. It's just the way it works. The second thing, after you've invested in your education, you have to figure out how to get properties, right? How do you find properties that are cheaper than other people can sell them for, right? You got to do what's called wholesaling, or at least learn the process of wholesaling. Even if you don't want to be a wholesaler for your career, even if you have the wherewithal and the finances to be an investor, it's necessary that you understand the process of wholesaling.
Absolutely.
Because what that allows you to do is, let's say this, I may be able to save $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, even if I save $2,000 on every transaction by being able to find that deal myself, as opposed to having to go to someone else to buy it and let them profit off of me by being the middleman. Well, $2,000 times 20 deals, that's $40,000 extra dollars that you could have. So you may not think it's important. You may say, hey, I'm willing to pay the wholesaler so that I have the convenience of my time. That's completely fine. But it's necessary that you understand that process.
Right. And you don't have to be licensed to be a wholesaler.
You don't. You don't have to have a real estate license. You do have to have the passion to figure out what to do. YouTube is free. Use it. First, invest in your education. Second, figure out how to wholesale or what the process looks like. Third, is invest in properties. A lot of people say fix and flip after you wholesale. I would take the opposite approach because that's actually what I did. I did fix and flip after I wholesale properties, right?
I did too.
I've done it. And what I would say is I would probably try to skip that step, not so that you're trying to jump the ladder, but so that you're setting yourself up to have income in between your deals.
Yes.
So what do I mean by that? I mean, you can figure out how to wholesale, but before buying fix and flips, see if you can find a property that you can have as a rental. Why is that? In entrepreneurship, I'm gonna ask you, do you get a check every 2 weeks just because?
No, you don't.
Do you get to clock in and every Friday or every 2 Fridays I get paid? That is not how it works.
It's not how it works.
So if you think that's how it works, you're gonna be sadly mistaken. And so that's why I say get rental properties, because in between your deals, on those months where your money is kind of thin or you don't have a thick pipeline, it's great to have rental properties because that's where that income is gonna come from.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to sustain yourself. Lastly is the traditional agency, right? You can be a licensed real estate agent. I'm a licensed real estate agent, and I'm sitting next to a licensed real estate broker. Super cool broker too, right? Just at that. But you can have a license. You can have a license in real estate. You can sell real estate to other people. You can have a brokerage where people work under you and they sell real estate to other people and you make money. Looks like a pyramid, but it's not. That's how business works. Right? And so the next thing we're going to talk about is not real estate focused, but it is a way that you can use the money that you make in real estate to make even more money.
Yeah. So I think that before I go into the topic that I'm really, really passionate about right now, I want to kind of talk about passion and making money and multiple streams of income. I think a lot of times people get caught up in like, oh my gosh, I have to find my passion. I want to quit my job to pursue my passion. But one thing I want you to think about before making that jump or making that decision to get into entrepreneurship is sometimes you have to do things that you aren't necessarily passionate about to make the money that you need to make in order to pursue your passion. So there's nothing wrong with waiting and making sure that, hey, I have the money to sustain, or I have the money, you know, I'm doing the things, I'm working my 9 to 5 or working whatever business venture it is right now in order to pursue my goals. Don't get so frustrated or caught up in the hype of, you know, these videos or memes or all these other things that talk about, you know, entrepreneurship. Make sure that you make a very, very strategic decision when you're making that transition into entrepreneurship. But now let's hop into what I am actually extremely passionate about right now. Outside of real estate, I love real estate, but it's e-commerce. So I don't know if you got...
What's e-commerce?
E-commerce is, if you don't know, basically having an online business. So as you know, everything, we're in a tech phase right now. So everything is going online. If you're not aware of all these big box companies going out of business, you know, well, may look like they're going out of business from the commercial side, but it doesn't mean that they're going out of business. It just means that they're going more online. So they're investing more of their dollars into online business because they see now the trend is everyone shopping online. People are getting more comfortable with putting their card information in online. So it's like, why should we have these high rents, you know, leasing these big buildings when we can just have our clients online? We can fire our employees and we can move our business online and we can shift our employees to overseas, you know, employees. So pay attention, stay woke, listen. So one of the topics within e-commerce is drop shipping. Right? So a lot of people are drop shipping products right now. And what that basically means is that you're allowing yourself to be able to sell products without having to hold any inventory on your own. What?
You gotta explain that. How you do it. I want to learn how to do that.
So basically, there are a ton of manufacturers that are already producing a ton of products and they need to get them sold. So what you're able to do is identify products. So for example, I'll throw one out there, AliExpress. AliExpress has a ton of products on there that you can choose from that manufacturers are already creating and already have the inventory for. So what they allow you to do is sell those products without holding the inventory. So you're able to have a site, a website where people come on your site and they order products. And once that order is placed, they make the payment and you then order the products from AliExpress, right? So when AliExpress gets that order, they ship that product out to your client for you. So you never have to hold any inventory in at your house or in your warehouse.
Do you have to sell it at the same price I buy it from AliExpress for?
No. So that's how you make your money. So you make that difference. So if AliExpress is selling it to you for $5, maybe on your site it's listed for $10. So you would make that $5 difference per product for selling a product that you've never even touched. Okay? That's number one in e-commerce. The second way to get into e-commerce is through wholesaling. So basically it's when you're buying products in bulk at a very low price and you're selling them for a higher price on your site. So that's one of the ways. So there are minimum quantity orders that are required when it comes to wholesaling products. So a lot of manufacturers may require you to purchase, you know, 100, 200, 1,000 products at once before you can take advantage of those discounted prices.
Stop for a second. I know that doesn't sound like that much. 100 products, that's not much. But if you're buying a $30 product, you have to be prepared, right? To spend $3,000. So you have to be prepared with some actual capital on the side. We can talk about how you get that capital in another segment, but you have to have some money. Right,
you do need to have money when you take the wholesaling approach. But you can make more money than in drop shipping because you're able to get the products for a lot cheaper price. Okay? And then the third way to make money on e-commerce is, say you're already making products and you don't need a manufacturer to make the products for you. What you're able to do is list your products on a platform such as Shopify or BigCommerce and list those products for sale. So you're now the manufacturer, you're listing your products, and now you've expanded your audience that way to sell more products to more consumers. Because again, it's 2019. If you're not online, you're just really missing out on this wave right now.
Right. So I think is really important, that last point that you just mentioned. If your business does not have an online presence, whether you're selling online or not, right? So as an example, a restaurant.
Yeah.
Red Lobster they don't sell me food online, but I can go to their website, I can look at their menu, I can see pictures and video of what it looks like, and I can get an idea of what the experience is going to be.
Right.
And so if you don't exist online, you don't exist, especially these days. How many times, so the truth is this, the percentage is almost like 70-80% of let's say you search a business on your phone, that within a week or 2 weeks, you'll visit that business. So if your business doesn't exist online, if somebody can't Google it and see that I'm 2 minutes away from this sandwich shop or this leather store, they're not going to know about you and they're not going to come, right? So it's really important that you have an online presence. And so if you're not selling online, you're missing a big part of the picture, right? So after real estate, after e-commerce, not to say they're in order like this, but just as far as the conversation, let's talk about taxes, right? Let's talk. Of course, there's a conversation about paying taxes, right, on the money that you make, but that's not what we're talking about this time. This time, we're talking about this whole conversation about how we've been able to make multiple streams of income. Let's talk about taxes. So with taxes, you may notice that at the beginning of every year, you've got folks that say, "Hey, can I do your taxes?"
Yes.
Right? Are those folks just being friendly? No, they're not just being friendly, right? A lot of folks don't know this, but with taxes, there are a good number of people across the United States that make up to $50,000 and even more during the first 4 months of the year because they do taxes. How? It is a service that can be sold at a premium.
Yes.
Right? You go to sites like TurboTax and all that, they're charging you to do your taxes essentially. It's a process that you could do in theory yourself, but most people just don't want to do it.
Right.
So in business, when people don't want to do something and you can provide convenience for them, you usually get to charge them for it.
Yes.
That's what taxes do, right? That's what people that do taxes do. And so you can have a tax preparation service. It's a low barrier to entry, actually. You have to get certified by the IRS. You have to get your P10. You have to be under an ERO, right? You have to be under someone who knows what they're doing.
Right.
But you have the opportunity to do what we call franchising. What does that mean? That means you don't have to become a master at it and have the insurances that a master would have to carry.
The overhead.
The overhead and all that in order to run a tax business. What you can do is find someone who is an ERO, right? They are certified, they took a test, they did the studying that you would have to do in order to get there. And you say, hey, are you offering the opportunity to franchise? And there are some that even market the opportunity to franchise.
Yes.
So they have their business already and they say, hey, how can I get my tax preparation service to more customers? What can you do? You can say, hey, John, Jane, and Jack, you guys are smart. Why don't you get certified as tax preparers and then you go service all the people in your area that want to get their taxes done? As a result of me letting you work under my company, right? I have the insurance that protects us. I have the software, right? You get to make money and I get to make a little bit off the money that you make. Sounds like a great business plan. It's not a pyramid scheme. That's the way business works.
Right.
So when you talk about franchise, McDonald's is a franchise, right? You have Chick-fil-A franchises. And so people, when it's on a small level, have an issue with somebody making money off of them, but you didn't do the work to set up the business.
Right.
And so your franchise opportunity can be tremendous and it can be a great way to get started without having to invest years into the studying or all the rest that could come with it, right? So next,
I think
we talked about that structure.
Right.
Let's
the
talk
pyramid
about
scheme. So people think that everything is a pyramid scheme. I mean, if you really think about it, think about corporate America. You have a CEO and then you have people that work up under that CEO. You don't think that CEO gets paid from your efforts? Like how do they get bonuses? Like how do they get raises?
Here's the thing, right? The CEO literally looks at the employees that they have under them, and let's say they're servicing a business. Let's say it's consulting, right? You've got a CEO, you've got managers, you've got partners, you've got analysts, right? They look at, okay, how much is that analyst making my company, right? How much is that analyst worth? And I might charge the client double. So your boss knows what you're worth. They're just not going to pay you what you're worth.
Right.
That's the fact, right? A business doesn't just guess. They don't just throw numbers at the wall and say, hey, our service is this much. No, they say we have these people that we have to pay this salary. And in order to pay them salary and make money, we're going to charge the client this.
Yes.
Right? So that looks like a scheme in which you're at the bottom and they're making money off of you. But that's the way business works.
Right.
So let's talk about another way that looks.
Yeah.
A different industry that people are so scared of.
Network marketing
Yep.
is another industry in which we've created multiple streams of income. It's not as scary as you think, guys. It really isn't. And so we were given that examples, given that example to lead into this topic, because I think it's important for us to just be real about how money is generated and circulated in this economy. It is what it is. Network marketing is one of the ways in which, people, I guess, get really, really nervous about it. And I'm not saying don't be cautious. There are network marketing companies out there that are not on the up and up. I've tried all kinds of network marketing businesses, and some of them, unfortunately, do go out of business.
Right.
So but also, aren't there corporations that go out of business? So it's really no escaping the fact that people are going to make money off of your efforts.
Right.
If you're not your own boss and you don't have your own business, have that understanding that people are going to make money off of your production. That's just how it works.
Even if you are your own boss, Uncle Sam's going to make money off of your production.
Tell me about it.
So you never just get to keep all your money.
You
That's
just
not
never,
how it works.
So you just have to be smart and use your money wisely when you make it. So in network marketing, for me, it's been a pretty good experience. Like I don't mind it at all. I think that you have to find one that you can really connect with. I mean, there are network marketing companies in insurance, in travel, in makeup, in coffee.
Right.
You really have to find which industry that resonates with you, because I think that's the only way that you're going to really be successful at a network marketing company. Like you have to really put in the work. And I know that one of the things that I would say that I found to not necessarily be true with network marketing is that it's not really a part-time thing.
Right.
It's part-time initially, but in order to really make the income that they, pitch to you or let you know that you can make, you have to make that a full-time business.
Right.
Like there is no way around that.
Right.
It has to become a full-time business at some point in order for you to really see those numbers and hit those targets and get those incentives that they talk about in these network marketing companies, the cars, the watches, the trips,
right.
The bonuses,
right.
All those things. So if you do get involved with it, I would say just make sure that you read all the fine print, make sure you take advantage of all the training, make sure that you actually want to pursue this as something that's long term, because you will be building a team.
Right.
There's no way around it. Even in the corporate structure, you have to build a team. Even as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't be, where I am without my team.
Right.
So that's something that is extremely important as well. So when you're looking at these different business opportunities, my rule of thumb is if it can't make me at least $1 million, I'm not going to pursue it.
Right.
So with having that mindset, you also have to make sure you know and understand that I'm going to be in a leadership position.
Right.
So being your own boss is not just I'm this one entity all by myself,
right.
and I'm making all this money by myself. You have to make sure that you're actually ready to be a leader.
Right.
Are you really ready to train people? Are you really willing to work with people? Are you willing to be flexible? Are you willing to give of yourself to people? Because all of those things are required. It goes back to when you were saying getting out of your comfort zone. How much are you willing to really get out of your comfort zone? For me, public speaking, that's one area that I do not like. So many people are surprised when I say that. I can't stand it. But I have to get out of that. I have to be out of my comfort zone because I'm a leader. I have people that are depending on me, and it's important that I speak up and I stand up. So it's a lot of things that you have to evaluate before actually making a decision to jump into this world of entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. 2 points about network marketing. The first is, if you don't believe in the product or service, don't do it, right? Because if that part isn't legitimate, then the engine of the network marketing company doesn't work, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to believe that the thing that you're selling or the service that you're selling works. Mm-hmm. You would be okay just being a customer. It works that well. 2, learn how to make some money in network marketing and then show a lot of other people how to make some money.
Yeah.
That's how you make it. That's exactly how the model works.
Yeah.
And let's make number 3. The fact is, it's a simple model. Mm-hmm. You have companies that use commercials on TV to sell their products. You have companies that send you mail in order to sell their products. Mm-hmm. A network marketing company is generally a company that lets people sell their products with word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
It's just that simple. It flips the model on its head and says, hey, you can make as much money as you want as a salesperson. Just sell it directly to the person, directly to people. And as a person who's in the network marketing company, a lot of times you can make bigger platforms. You can make commercials. You can spend all the money you want to. But the company's mission is to get their product to as many people as possible using actual individuals. That's the model. It's not that scary, but you have to understand it.
Yeah.
Right? And make sure you have a good reputation in it.
Yeah,
so
make sure the company has a good reputation.
It's necessary.
Talk to people who are in the business and get their feedback, or even if you can find people who have left the business and get their feedback. Read reviews about the business. You know, really do your due diligence before making any decision when it comes to real estate, e-commerce. If you're going to get a coach, look
Taxes,
them up.
Anything.
We had an experience with that. So be careful. You know, we've gone through trial and error with all of these industries that we've mentioned today, and it has not been seamless. We have had some hurdles that we've had to overcome. We've lost a lot of money. We've made a lot of money. But at the end of the day, make sure that you do your research and make sure that it's something that is going to at least make you $1 million before you're going to pursue it. Don't just jump into things because it sounds good.
Right. A couple tips for you guys before we wrap this one up. For me, I would say, the question about how much comfort you're willing to sacrifice is like a legitimate question. For me, often I work 7 days a week, and I may wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning. Some mornings I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and start working. And then I may go to bed at 12 because, hey, it's necessary that I do what's necessary to put my business in the right position. What I say is that business is just like fitness almost. Everybody thinks they know what to do. There are so many coaches out there. The information is information that you could have to get it right. But there are only a few people that are willing to do the work. So there are only a few people that are walking around with the bodies that everybody wants. But guess what? The formula is not a secret. They follow the same formula that has been followed for so many years, which is eat right and work out and do it consistently. The same thing applies to business, right? Work hard, work smart. Because one of the things I want to say to you is that working hard is not the answer to getting rich, unfortunately. Because if that were the case, then so many people that are in third world countries or even living in the United States will be wealthy because they work 2 or 3 jobs. The fact is this, that job is not going to make you rich, and they're not going to provide the platform or the pathway for you to get rich. They will let you work as many hours as you possibly can until your fingers are tired and your joints are sore. And they will not care if you have a plan to actually create generational wealth for your family. So what do? You have to map it out for yourself. You have to be willing to wake up early, stay up late. If you work 1 to 3 hours every day, or even 5 days a week, if we're being realistic for people that may have kids or family or things going on, if you put 1 to 3 hours into your thing, whatever that thing is of consistent, non-distracted focus, something will happen. But if you continue for 5, 10, 20, or 30 years, even 40 years, hoping and wishing that success is going to come your way, the bad news is it is not. It doesn't just fall into your lap, right? But it is so possible, so realistic to build these multiple streams of income, because these days the internet has changed the world, and how to get to your wealth is at the tip of your fingers. You Google it, you find somebody who's doing it, you study them, you maybe even meet them and learn from them, and you copy the model. Just make sure you're copying the right person. All right? And so to wrap it up today, what I'll say is this. Work is what you do.
Love is why you do it.
And it is possible to have balance if you build with the right partner. Thank you so much for paying attention on this segment. It's stuff that you see is very near and dear to our hearts. We're passionate about it. And I'm glad we're able to get this message out to folks. What I need you to do is like this video, subscribe to our YouTube, share some comments, let us know some feedback, and let us know what you think about what we're saying, or topics that you may even want to hear, right? And then make sure you look at us on Instagram, right? Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I know we're asking you to follow us on all platforms, but what that does is help us bring you a better message and get it to more people. This is necessary. People need to hear it. And I'm so glad that you were the one that heard it today.
Yes.
See y'all next week.
We'll see y'all next week. Oh, special shout out to Bravado for our shirts. We love them.
Absolutely.
You can't fire me.
You can't fire me.
I'm
the boss, right? And hey, it feels good. I'll tell you
that. It's so fitting for our topic today.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. See you next week.